What happens when she finally realizes she can't reach you anymore? Not because you blocked her, not because you're ghosting her, but because you've disappeared on a level she never expected. You didn't just go silent, you went unreachable, and that hits different, because when a man truly goes no contact, not as a tactic, but as a transformation, it flips her entire world upside down. See, she thought you'd be back. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. She thought the silence was a phase, a strategy, something to wait out. But days go by, then weeks, and still nothing, not a text, not a view on her story, not even energy. And that's when panic sets in, because now she doesn't feel you anymore. And that energy withdrawal, that's the emotional detox she never saw coming. Most guys fake no contact. They go silent but still check her page, still hope, still react internally. But you didn't just go quiet, you vanished emotionally. And that absence is what's haunting her, because now she feels what you used to feel. She's refreshing, overthinking, stalking your silence. You're not chasing anymore, and now she's chasing ghosts. You didn't pull away to play games, you pulled away to reclaim your soul. And when you did, you triggered something no argument ever could, her obsession, because nothing drives someone crazier than knowing you still exist, but being completely unable to reach you. If you've ever truly gone cold, if your silence isn't a strategy but your new standard, hit that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I'm not ignoring her. I've outgrown her. Now, let's begin. Number 1, you didn't block her. You disappeared from her world. She still has your number. She can still message you. Technically, the line is open, but deep down, she knows it's pointless, because while you didn't block her physically, you blocked her emotionally, mentally, spiritually. You didn't shut the door. You left the building. And that difference is everything. See, blocking someone sends a message. It screams, "I'm hurt. I'm cutting you off." But disappearing without announcement, that sends a shockwave. It's not anger. It's not drama. It's emptiness. She can reach out, but your energy is gone. She can test the waters, but they're cold. And it finally clicks. You're not just silent. You're unreachable. That's what she never expected. She thought there'd always be a way back in. A window cracked open. Some emotional residue left behind. But now there's nothing. No warmth, no signals, no response. You've vanished from her emotional radar. And that absence is louder than any fight ever was. Because here's the thing. Presence is power. And you used to give her yours, freely. Your time, your words, your attention. But once you realized it was being wasted, you didn't just walk away. You withdrew, entirely, without warning, without needing to be seen. Now she's not just missing you. She's haunted by the silence, by the finality, by the version of you she can no longer feel, reach, or control. You didn't block her phone. You blocked her access. And for her, that's far worse. Number 2, you stopped caring. She started craving. The moment you stopped caring was the moment the power flipped. Not when you yelled, not when you walked out, when you simply stopped feeling anything. You weren't angry, you weren't sad, you were just done. And that shift, that emotional switch from attachment to detachment, that's what made her start craving what she once dismissed. She didn't value your love when it was right in front of her. She didn't take your consistency seriously. She rolled her eyes at your loyalty because it was always there. But now that your care is gone, now that your effort is zero, she's scrambling to feel it again. The same energy she once ignored is now the only thing she wants, and she can't get it. That's the cruel irony of detachment. It's quiet, but devastating. You didn't slam the door. You didn't beg for respect. You just stopped giving a damn, and that's what broke her. Not your words, not your silence, but your emotional vacancy. Because when a man truly stops caring, he becomes impossible to reach. Now she's craving it, checking if you still watch her stories, looking for signs that the old you is still in there, but he's not. He's gone. And the new version of you? He doesn't seek closure. He doesn't look back. He's too focused, too cold, too far removed. She used to be the one withholding attention. Now it's you. And every second you don't care, her obsession grows. Because when the chase dies, the craving begins. Number 3. When she can't predict you, she can't control you. You used to be predictable. If she pulled away, you reached out. If she acted cold, you tried harder. She knew your emotional patterns, knew exactly how to trigger a response. You were a mirror, reflecting whatever she gave you, hoping it would bring balance. But now, you've gone silent, still, emotionless. And that terrifies her, because unpredictability is power. It breaks her script. It forces her into uncertainty. She doesn't know if you care, doesn't know if you're done for real, doesn't know what move to make, because you're not reacting to any of them. And for someone who thrives on control, that's chaos. She can't pull the strings anymore because there's nothing to pull. You're not flinching, not chasing, not watching. You're unreadable. And that silence, that neutrality, it's a wall she can't climb. Because when a man stops being emotionally available, he becomes untouchable. And that's exactly what she didn't expect. Now she's stuck overthinking every move, wondering why her usual tactics don't work, obsessing over your silence because silence she can't decode becomes noise she can't escape. That's the shift. When you're no longer predictable, you're no longer possessible. She doesn't know who you are anymore, and the truth is, she never really did. She only knew the version of you who chased, the one who needed closure. Now you've evolved, and the unknown, that's what controls her now. Number 4, no contact isn't silence, it's absence. She thought no contact meant you were just mad, taking space, waiting for her to reach out. She thought it was temporary, something to ride out. But what she didn't realize is that no contact, real no contact, isn't just silence. It's absence, not just from her phone, but from her life, her mind, her emotional center. You didn't just stop talking. You removed your energy completely. And that's what's driving her crazy. Because silence can be broken, silence can be poked and tested. But absence? Absence can't be touched. It can't be reasoned with. It's a void, a black hole. And now she's throwing words into a space that no longer echoes back. There's nothing to grab onto, nothing to manipulate, just emptiness where your presence used to be. She's texting, but it feels like shouting into a canyon. She's watching your stories, only to realize there aren't any. She's scrolling through memories, trying to feel something from a man who's no longer available for emotional access. And that stillness? It's not passive. It's total separation. No contact isn't a move on the board. It's flipping the table and walking away from the game. And the reason she's obsessing now isn't because you're silent. It's because you're gone. And once a man pulls his energy back to that level, he doesn't come back. You didn't just stop speaking. You stopped existing in her world. Number 5, you became scarce. And scarcity creates obsession. When you were always there, she never had to question it. You texted first. You showed up. You gave her energy even when she gave you distance. Your presence was consistent, and she treated it like a guarantee. But then, piece by piece, you started to pull back. No explanation, no announcement, just less. Until one day, you weren't accessible anymore. And that shift from abundance to scarcity flipped everything. Scarcity is what creates value, not words, not effort, distance. And now that you're rare, you're expensive, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually. She can't afford to lose you, but she already did. And that's the part she can't reconcile. She's obsessing because she doesn't have you on demand anymore. What she once dismissed as too much has now become impossible to replace. The late-night support, the steady masculine energy, the consistency. She thought it was always going to be there. Now it's gone, and she's starving for it. She thought she could treat you like an option, and you'd still be available. But now you're distant, focused, unreachable, and your scarcity, it's driving her insane. Not because she suddenly values you, but because she can't access you. And when something can't be accessed, it becomes wanted. You didn't change. You just stopped showing up for someone who treated you like a placeholder, and now that you're rare, she's obsessed. Because attention she used to ignore is now the one thing she can't stop thinking about. Number 6. She can't replace a presence. She took for granted. She thought she could move on, find someone new, replace the feeling. But what she's learning now, painfully, is that your presence wasn't average. It wasn't ordinary. It was anchoring. And now that it's gone, nothing she finds even comes close. You weren't just a man in her life. You were the energy that made her feel safe, wanted, and grounded, even when she didn't admit it. And because she never properly valued it, she thought she could trade it in for excitement, attention, or a cheap distraction. But replacements don't carry weight. They don't hold the same presence. They don't have the same stillness, the same calm power, the same quiet intensity. Now she's comparing. Whether she wants to or not, she's looking at other men, searching for the feeling she got from you. And it's not there, because presence isn't something you fake. It's something you build, through discipline, through silence, through self-mastery. And she didn't understand what you were until it was gone. The worst part for her? Knowing it was real, knowing it was rare, and knowing she fumbled it. You're not trying to be missed. You're just gone. And she's left trying to recreate something she never fully understood until she lost it. Now your silence echoes through every room she walks into, every conversation, every new connection, because you were never just a man who showed up. You were the standard, and now she can't unsee the difference. She can't replace it. She can only regret it. Number 7. Detachment is what she never expected. She was ready for silence. She was ready for space. She even prepared herself for you to pull away for a little while. But what she wasn't ready for was detachment. Not fake detachment, not forced indifference, but real internal disconnect. The kind that makes you stop hoping, stop reacting, stop feeling. That's what caught her off guard. See, silence still gives her hope. She thinks, maybe he's waiting for me to reach out. Space still gives her time. She tells herself, we just need a break. But detachment? That ends the entire game. Because it's not about time apart. It's about emotional finality. You didn't pause the connection. You cut the cord. And the second she realized that, she spiraled. She tried to get a rise out of you, tried the breadcrumb texts, tried being seen, but none of it worked. Because the version of you she knew, the one who over-explained, over-felt, over-gave, is gone. Now you don't engage, you don't flinch, you don't even check. And that detachment? That's the one move she never planned for. She expected silence with strings attached, silence that still felt like you cared. But what she got was absence with nothing underneath, just a clean break, just air. And now she doesn't know how to pull you back. Because you're not just distant, you're done. Detachment doesn't make noise. It doesn't argue. It doesn't announce itself. It just walks out of the room and doesn't return. And that is exactly what broke her. Number 8. The more you heal, the more she hurts. At first she thought you were suffering in silence, that you were quiet but still broken, still checking, still feeling, that your absence was a front, and eventually the pain would pull you back. But then, you didn't come back, you didn't reach out, you didn't slip, and worse, you got better. You started showing signs of peace, of focus, of strength, not just surface level, internal. Your energy shifted, your eyes stopped carrying weight, your silence wasn't tension, it was freedom. And that's when her hurt started. Not because you hurt her, but because she realized she never actually broke you. You began healing, leveling up, investing in your mind, your body, your goals. You became emotionally clean. No more residue, no more invisible strings. You didn't just move on, you transformed. And that contrast, between the man she thought she left behind and the man you've become, that's what cuts her the deepest. Because now, everything she thought would give her power, your pain, your need for closure, your loyalty, is gone. She's sitting in her regret while you're moving in purpose. The more you heal, the more she hurts. The more you rise, the more she spirals, because you didn't just survive. You evolved, and now she has to watch the version of you she never deserved become the man she can never reach again. That's the pain she never saw coming. Not you falling apart, but you standing tall without her. Number 9. She replays everything. You feel nothing. Now that she can't reach you, can't read you, can't trigger you, she's left alone with the only thing she has left: memories. And those memories, they're on repeat. The moments you showed up, the things you said, the way you stayed solid when she was testing your limits. She replays every bit of it, trying to find where it all shifted, where the power slipped, where you changed. And here's the kicker. You're not replaying anything. You've already let go, detached, deleted the emotional file. You don't feel anger. You don't feel pain. You feel nothing. Not numbness, not denial, just peace. Because when a man truly heals, the past stops echoing. It becomes irrelevant. Meanwhile, she's stuck in the loop, obsessing, regretting, wondering if she misunderstood how strong your connection really was. Because if it was real, why can't she feel you anymore? Why does it feel like you disappeared into a different life, one where she no longer exists? You're not texting, not posting, not watching. You've reclaimed all that energy and redirected it toward yourself. And that shift, from emotionally reactive to completely indifferent, is why she can't move on. Not because she loves you, but because you're gone without trace, without closure, without one last emotional tether to pull on. You've become the question she can't answer, the silence she can't solve. She's replaying everything. You're just done watching the film. Number 10. Being unreachable is the final move. There's no stronger position than being unreachable, not blocked, not hidden, just gone. Not in a way that invites questions, but in a way that offers no entry point. Because when a man becomes unreachable, it means he's no longer emotionally involved in the game. He's not silent because he's waiting. He's silent because he's finished. This is the final move. Not out of spite, not out of ego, but out of clarity. You realized she never respected the version of you that was available on demand. So you created a version she can't access, can't read, and can't replace. That's what makes it powerful. You didn't become unreachable to punish her. You became unreachable to preserve yourself. Now, she's locked out of a system she used to run. The attention is gone. The access is gone. The emotional charge, gone. And with it, every tactic, every game, every test, useless. Because being unreachable isn't just distance. It's the declaration that her chapter is closed. Fully, quietly, irreversibly. You're not hiding. You're just done offering yourself to someone who fumbled it. You're not watching the door. You've removed it. She thought you'd always be around. Now she can't even find the entrance. No contact energy isn't a phase. It's a shift. And once a man makes that shift, there is no going back. She's not chasing you anymore. She's chasing a ghost. And you're already on to your next level. You didn't become unreachable to make her regret. You became unreachable because she already did. You didn't go silent to manipulate her. You didn't disappear to prove a point. You became unreachable because you were done giving access to someone who didn't know what to do with it. No contact wasn't a tactic. It was a transformation. And now that she's obsessing, spiraling, and replaying it all in her head, you feel nothing. Because the version of you that once cared, he's long gone. This is what happens when a man stops chasing and starts choosing, not just who he gives his time to, but who he removes himself from completely. She had a window into your world and she shattered it. Now it's closed, sealed, finished. And every moment you stay gone, she realizes just how permanent that silence is. Being unreachable isn't cruelty. It's completion. You've evolved past the need to explain, defend, or fix what broke itself. And now your peace is your message. Your absence is the lesson. Your detachment is the closure. If you've stopped giving second chances, if your silence is your boundary and your distance is your power, hit that like button. Subscribe, turn on notifications, and comment below. I'm not ignoring her. I've outgrown her. This is Stoic blessing. Stay distant, stay calm, stay untouchable.